As the light covers my eyes, the memories begin to leak in. Indigo whirlpools, drowned iron, red fire on the salt, and a stone that will not let go. These waters remember. The path has carried me to the northern edge of Mindanao, Surigao. These waters never stay still. The sea moves here as if two oceans are meeting. This is the province of Surigao del Norte, a land shaped by islands, open seas, and the restless doorway of the Pacific. From here I see islands scattered across the water, villages resting close to the tide, and boats following the same sea roads their fathers once followed. Life here moves with the ocean. The ocean gathers the paths together here. Surigao stands where the inland seas of the Philippines meet the wide Pacific, a frontier between two waters. Beyond these islands, the ocean grows wider. But first, the sea has something to show me. This passage has carried more than travelers. The sea keeps its memories here. The water is deep here. It stays dark, even when the sun is high. There's a lot of iron at the bottom. Ships from a war that ended long ago. They didn't just sink. They became part of the floor. You can feel it when the tide shifts. A vibration that doesn't come from the wind. Most people see the islands in the sky. That is how a path should be. Quiet, clear, but every path needs a foundation. Beneath the quiet, the sea keeps the memory of the fire and the salt. I stay here to watch the lines, to make sure the past stays where it belongs, so the way forward stays open. The Pacific hits this island first. It has nowhere else to go. These waves have traveled thousands of miles across the open dark just to end here, against this reef. People come from across the world to meet that energy. They see the beauty and the height of the swell. I look at what holds the ground. The mangroves grow where the water is saltiest. Their roots are a map of survival, holding the soil together so the ocean doesn't take the island back. Being a keeper isn't just about the deep water, it's about the edges. As long as these roots hold, the path behind them stays quiet. Still, protected. The island is a shield. If the frontier frays, the rest of the archipelago starts to drift. I stay here to watch the seams. The ocean disappears behind the stone. Out there, everything is moving. In here, the water has forgotten how to ripple. This is Sohotan. A labyrinth of emerald and bone. It's a place of disappearing doors. The limestone has been carved by the sea for millions of years, creating a maze where the tide is the only key. If the sea rises even a few inches, these paths vanish. You have to wait for the moon to pull the water back just enough to let you through. To enter is to trust the rhythm of the planet. It is a kingdom within a kingdom. Behind every wall of stone is another chamber, another lake, another secret. The rock here is like a lung. It holds its breath when the tide is high and exhales when it's low. Some say these chambers are guarded. I don't see shadows. I see a place that doesn't want to be used. It just wants to be. You don't take anything from here. You just try to remember the feeling of the silence before the tide closes the door again. In the heart of the stone, the rules of the sea change. These are the golden moons of the lagoon. They have lived in this silence for so long that they have forgotten how to hurt. They have no sting because in this circle of water, they have no enemies. Most the path is a struggle between the hunter and the hunted. But here, the sea has made an exception. It is a world that moves without fear. It is a fragile harmony. To be a guest here is to realize that peace isn't the absence of strength. It is the choice to be still. When the light leaves the surface, the stories come back to the top. They don't rise like bubbles. They rise like anchors, pulling your eyes down into the dark. The old people of these islands have a different map of the sea. They speak of the Sirena and the Siokoi. Names we give to the things that watch us from the places where the sun cannot reach. There are stories of islands that appear only once every 100 years, and guardians who keep the balance between the fire of the islands and the salt of the deep. Some call it folklore. I see it as a boundary, a way to define the edge of where we belong and where we do not. I have felt the weight of the mountain on my back, and now I feel the pull of the tide at my feet. I am not here to tell the sea what to be. I am simply the one who woke up to listen. The sea isn't empty, and it isn't angry. It is simply complete. It doesn't need our permission to exist, but we need its permission to stay. We tell these stories so we don't forget that we are guests in a kingdom that was here long before we found our names. To be a keeper is to know that the water doesn't just hold our ships. It holds our balance. There are places that feel like they were never meant to be found. They are the secrets the sea keeps for itself. This is the Sapphire Sanctuary. It is the end of the maze and the beginning of the truth. When you look at water this deep, you realize that the legends aren't just stories we tell each other. They are the way the land explains itself to us. Perhaps the sea still protects its ancient kingdom. Perhaps the blue is so deep because it is holding on to a history that we aren't ready to hear yet. To stand here is to understand that the world doesn't need to be loud to be powerful. I have traveled through the iron of the strait and the roots of the frontier to find this silence. I don't look for answers anymore. I just look for the balance. But a kingdom is more than its walls of stone or its depths of sapphire. It is the people who have made a pact with the salt for 1,000 years. There is a quiet strength here, a spirit that the storm cannot break and the tide cannot wash away. From the northern edge of Batanes to these southern reaches, I see the same fire in the eyes of the people. They don't just survive the sea, they speak its language. To the ones who watch the lines and keep the old stories alive, you are the true keepers. Your pride is the anchor that keeps these islands from drifting into the dark. As long as you remain, the Sea Kingdom will never be forgotten. But this isn't just their story. We are all keepers of something. A name, a piece of land, a memory we don't want to lose. The sea doesn't ask us to be gods. It only asks that we don't treat its silence like an absence. The water isn't empty space. It is the floor of the world. And we are all walking on its roof. You don't have to live by the salt to be part of the Sea Kingdom. You just have to remember the balance of things you cannot see. Protect the water, because it is the memory of where we all began.